Oo, Eric, I think at the centerpiece no of all of this is the budget, no, that very corrupt budget again. Why is it very corrupt? 'Di ba? Because ayan na naman, inulit na naman ni Bongbong Marcos yung ginawa niya last year, no, na the most corrupt budget has been eclipsed by this most corrupt budget naman this year. And marami na namang insertions which is what you're going to get into, 'di ba? And this is why walang the trust ratings of this president, no. If you can still call him a president, because I've stopped calling him president. He's not a president. It
Yeah.
just hurts too much because I worked for a real president, so I can't, no. So
Yeah.
his trust ratings are historically abysmal. Wala ni sino mang public official, kahit siguro konsehal, barangay captain, ang nakakuha ng ganyang trust and approval ratings. Was it -50? May isang survey -3, may -15, pero yung net approval ang sama, minus. Kahit na doon na tayo sa -15, ano, kahit doon lang
Mhm.
tayo. Si Erap nung na-depose siya, I think he was +10. Then si GMA West, no, before BBM, she was +1. So never before has anything like this happened. So this is why, and you can see why. Gawa niyang tanga ang Pilipino
Yeah.
sa budget na ito. Walang respeto itong president.
Correct.
Even that ICI, no, it's all he doesn't get it. And he doesn't get how important that trust rating is, because that trust rating of a -15 tells him that wala na yung mandato niya. It's gone. The
Yeah.
Filipino people no longer trust him. 'Di ba? So,
Exactly.
Eric, go ahead.
Agree. Ako po ay sumasang-ayon sa pananaw ninyo, Ma'am Lorraine.
Yeah.
Napakahalaga po ang trust and approval rating sapagkat ito po ang sumasalamin sa pagtitiwala at sa pagsang-ayon ng mamamayan kung ikaw ba ay nararapat na magpatuloy sa paghawak ng kapangyarihan at mamuno sa gobyerno at buong Republika ng Pilipinas. Ako, Ma'am, sususugan ko yung sinabi mo. This is the worst ever rating na nakuha sa trust, approval, confidence ng taong bayan sa nakaupong presidente, sa lahat ng dumaan na presidente. Ito ang pinakamalala. Hindi pa niya kinakalahati ang kanyang termino, subalit I would like to use your term, Ma'am Lorraine. Ito po ay isang indicator na hindi pwedeng ipagwalang bahala. Yung mandato na sinasabi niya, yung otoridad at pagtitiwala na ibinigay ng mamamayan sa kanya, tuloy-tuloy po na nawala ito. And therefore, Marcos is not just a lame duck president. He is now an inutile president. Ibig sabihin po, ang kanyang mga ginagawa, wala nang nagtitiwala. Both sa Pilipinas, sa mamamayang Pilipino mayoriya, at pati sa international na antas, isolated po siya, Ma'am Lorraine. Ma'am, may tanong ako sa iyo. Gaano
Eric,
kahalaga? As a government communicator, ma'am, gaano
Yeah.
kahalaga ang trust and approval rating for a president and for a government?
Oh, Eric, that was the pinaka center of the communications, no? Every time we open our mouth about the government, it's to win people to our side, and it's to win their trust. Why do you communicate this is what the government is doing for you, 'di ba? Because it gives them a sense of wellness, number one. And then number two, it makes them see where their money is come, the transparency, so that number two, very important, they will cooperate with the government, they will trust the government, and then together the government and the Filipino people can move forward. 'Di ba? Kasi gusto natin ang Pilipinas ay umandar. Particularly damning, no, is what we're seeing right now. This is Class E, Eric, no? Ang Class E pinakamahihirap, -32 si BBM.
Yeah.
-32.
Terrible.
Where in the entire world have you ever seen anything like this? Nowhere. And the vice president is +49. So there's a difference of 81 points. What does this mean? Ang ibig sabihin nito, ang naririnig natin kapag ganito, ang sinasabi ng mga pinakamahihirap, sumama ang buhay namin dahil kay Bongbong Marcos, at hindi lang niya pinasama, nagnakaw siya sa amin. Hindi lang siya hindi nagsilbi, nagnakaw siya, nalunod kami dahil sa projects na yan, na siya nag-sign, nagnakaw siya, nagutom kami, nawalan kami ng bahay, nawalan kami yung pinakamaliit na mga hanap buhay namin. Yan ang sinasabi niya. Tapos ang sinasabi ni Bongbong Marcos, he's not bothered by it, di ba? He
Mhm.
said that, and that to me, no, as a doctor, concerns me because that's what he said. And
Yeah.
it's a mental status exam of Bongbong Marcos that a minus all these trust ratings don't bother him. Because you're supposed to be bothered by this. As a president, you're supposed to be bothered. I saw PRRD. He was relentlessly worried about the country because that's your job. And your job is to let the Filipino people trust you because you serve them well and you don't steal from them, 'di ba? At yan ang
Agree.
ginawa niyo. And Eric,
Go
palast
ahead,
ka
ma'am.
pa.
Go ahead.
Si PRRD said to us over and over, huwag kang sumali sa gobyerno kung hindi mo mahal ang mahihirap kasi ang mahihirap, ang meron lang sila ang gobyerno.
Agree.
So
Agree
yung
to that.
minus 32 na yan, Bongbong Marcos, sampal sa mukha mo yan. Be bothered by it.
Yeah.
Diba?
Agree. At maganda yung sinabi mo, Ma'am Lorraine. Kung hindi ka nakakaramdam ng nangyayari sa iyong bansa, ng nangyayari at nararanasan ng iyong mamamayan, insensitive ka na, lapastangan ka pa. Because pinagkatiwalaan ka sa mandato ng eleksyon.
Yeah.
Pero ang ginawa mo, sabi mo nga Ma'am Lorraine, 3 issue ito kung bakit siya dumausdos ng tulo-todo. At siya ang may kagagawa nito. He created the self-destruction of his own government, not by the people or his political enemies. Number 1, corruption. Pandarambong. Walang hindi naniniwala na si Marcos ay inosente. O hindi naniniwala ang tao sa kanya na inosente siya. Mastermind sila ni Romualdez. You are correct about that, Ma'am Lorraine. At hindi po ito basta-basta lamang krimen. Century. Crime of the century ang tawag sa nangyari. 1.4 trillion pesos. Hindi niya po ito pwedeng burahin. Wala siyang magagawa kahit pinalayas niya na si Martin Conwari, ma'am, sa poder, hindi nakatulong. Pinalaglag niya na si Saldico. Namatay na lang lahat, namatay at ibinaon ang ebidensya ni Cabral. At lahat-lahat hindi po nabura ang issue na ang pasimuno ng nakawan at durubuhan sa gobyerno si Marcos at sila Romualdez. You are correct to point out na yan ang central issue kung bakit nag-self-destruct siya very early in the middle of his term. Number 2, yung kanyang maruming laro sa politika na hindi nakakabuti sa mamamayan. And what is that? Ginagamit niya ang poder, pundo at kapangyarihan kasama si Martin Romualdez. Binabalasubas nila ang institusyon like Congress and Senate at pati na po ang mga agencies of government para sirain at wasakin ang Duterte political camp. Nakita ito ng mamamayan. Hindi po ito ang gusto ng mamamayan. Ang gusto nila magserbisyo, hindi para maglaro ng apoy ng maruming politika at wasakin ang political enemies gamit ang institutions and fund of the government. At ang panghuli, ma'am, nakita ng taong bayan, Marcos is an NPA, non-performing in asset, NPA. Walang silbi, hindi kayang mamuno, at kasabwat ng mga nagwawasak sa gobyerno at sa lipunan at lahat ng kanyang ginagawa, hindi nagkakaroon ng solido at konkretong epekto sa buhay ng mamamayan. Kaya hindi ito, sabi mo ma'am, hindi lang ito perception. Ito ay refleksyon ng reality sa sambayan ng Pilipino sa ilalim ni Marcos sa kanyang panggobyerno.
Also, Eric, no, yung ginagawa niyang damage control, no, yung puro salita na kung ano-ano pinagsasabi niyang kagandahan, na pinagtatawanan na lang siya ng tao, 'di ba? He talks about values, he talks about good governance, about public trust, about pagsisilbihan ko kayo and all this. That's the how shallow he is. No? That's his understanding and his sole capacity of damage control. Kasi kung totoong presidente ka, ang gagawin mo talagang mag-i-investigate ka, etc. 'Di ba? Talagang magsisilbi ka bigla. Pero anong ginawa niya? Puro siya salita, tapos inuulit pa niya ang pagnanakaw niya. Sa madaling salita, si Bongbong Marcos cannot help himself. He's really a magnanakaw. Talagang magnanakaw siya. Tapos nakakagalit pa sa taong bayan. Pag tinignan mo, kasi hindi ko alam kung sa dami ng ninakaw niya, No, may confidential funds niya, magkano? Bilyones, di ba? And yet, he
Ang
cannot
confidential fund niya lang alone, ma'am, is 5.4 billion noong
imagine.
2025. At mayroon pa siyang isiningit na insertion na 5 billion. Almost 10 billion ang kanyang
Imagine.
contingency at ang direktang pondo na siya lang may hawak.
And then imagine ha, with that confidential funds, ganyang kadaming pera, you cannot even monitor social media kung saan ka pinagtatawanan ng tao. Every
Correct.
time you open your mouth, and it's really damning talaga kasi pag tinignan mo yung social media, he'll say something na if PRRD said it, we would believe him, 'di ba? Pero sa kanya pinagtatawanan siya, minumura siya. Gago, pinagsasabi mo,
Yeah.
etc., etc. Therefore, pero wala na, he's a lame duck president. Those are what those numbers mean, you idiot. That's why this is why you should be concerned about it. Kaya lang nga, he's a drug addict. So his head talaga, his brains, wala na. His perception, his illusions, his judgment is all gone. So he doesn't worry about it and he does not have the capacity to be a president. He doesn't, to be a president, ayusin mo yan eh. Ayusin mo talaga yan. That's his
Mhm.
character. And
Yeah.
it's truly magnanakaw lang talaga ang kaya niya. Yun lang talagang
Yeah.
kaya niyang gawin. No?
Ang malala pa dito, Ma'am Lorraine, bago dumating ang last quarter of 2020, ang huling bahagi ng 2025, ibinunyag ng kapwa niya, naging bahagi ng sindikato nila, kung paano nila ginawa ang buong pamilya niya parang crime cartel sa pagnanakaw. Halimbawa, Ma'am Lorraine, hindi niya sinagot at hindi niya na bigyan ng pagmamatuwid ang pagturo at pag-point out ni Saldico na nagpapatakbo sa sindikato ng Bureau of Customs at smuggling sa agriculture, asawa niya at
Yeah.
bayaw niya.
Yeah.
At they are amassing 20-30 billion pesos a year. At walang nakapag-deny sa bahagi ni Marcos dito, Ma'am Lorraine, na ginamit niya ang kanyang poder at pamilya niya, ang kanyang anak, asawa, bayaw, ay nagpapatakbo ng sindikato gamit ang ahensya at ang institusyon ng gobyerno, Bureau of Customs, Department of Agriculture. Kaya pala, Ma'am Lorraine, noong panahon pa ni PRRD, gustong-gusto ng mag-asawang ito, Lisa Araneta at Bongbong Marcos Jr. na ma-appoint si BBM bilang Agriculture Secretary na tinanggihan ni Pangulong Duterte. Dahil alam ng former President Duterte kung anong pagkatao at karakter at kapasidad nila kapag inilagay sila sa ganyang sensitibong posisyon. Nang umupo siya, yun ang una niyang hinawakan, mga kababayan. At hindi po nakaligtas ito sa sambayan ng Pilipino, Ma'am Lorraine. Nang tayo po ay magkakasama pa noon sa programa ng Pilipinas Nating Mahal at pati sa Laban Kasamang Bayan, pinoint out natin ito na ang paglaganap ng smuggling sa Agrikultura at Bureau of Customs nakakabahala dahil nawala ito halos sa panahon ni Pangulong Duterte. Sa panahon ng 6 na buwan ni Bongbong Marcos Jr., sumirit pataas ang smuggling, ang sibuyas, grabe ang presyo, ang asukal, bigas. At ito ngayon ay kinumpirma ni Saldico ng pasimuno ang mag-asawa at ang bayaw niya. At kahapon, Ma'am Lorraine, kuhanan kita ng reaksyon mo dito. Sa budget ito, ipinakita ni Governor Chavit Singson ang halos 90% ng proyekto sa Ilocos Norte sa distrito ni Sandro Marcos at kay Bongbong mismo at sa kanilang lugar sa paligid nito sa Ilocos Norte, puro ghost project at mga project na hindi pa umaabot ng 3-4 na buwan, wasak na. Hundreds of billions of pesos dokumentado, paid in advance, Ma'am Lorraine, from the budget. Your reaction to that?
Well, you know what, Eric, no? This Marcos has, no? Their time has really come kasi it's the age of information. So something like that could have been hidden during the time of his father. A lot of what Ferdinand Marcos Sr. did was hidden, di ba? Kaya lang age of information ngayon. So yung mga ibinunyag ni Governor Chavit Singson kahapon, talagang that really makasusulasok yan sa taong bayan pag lalo na ngayon is available already that information, di ba? So what I'm saying is he's really, it's over. It's really, the writing is really on the wall now, Bongbong Marcos, no? And if you will not resign, people will really drag you down. Will really drag you out of Malacanang kasi dyan sa mga
Agree.
that is your destiny. You're a loser. You're a loser. Talagang he was given that rare opportunity for a second chance, 'di ba? But character is destiny eh. He cannot help
Agree.
himself. He's really magnakaw. Asawa to, mga kriminal, niya ay gayon din, 'di ba? I mean, you would think, no, with a burden name, no, going into the presidency, we thought that he would try to clean up his name, but he cannot do it. He
Yeah.
cannot. He's totally unfit to be president. He is a drug addict.
Agree.
He cannot help himself. Where he belongs to is in a drug rehab facility, not
Agree.
in Malacanang. No?
At maganda ang sinabi, ma'am, kasama natin ito dati, may pagka-reserve ito pag nagkomentaryo, abogado ito, mama,
Yeah.
at naging kabahagi ng NTFL communications team din natin ito for quite a time nung aktibo pa siya. Si retired Marine Major General Edgar Arevalo.
Yes.
Ang sinabi niya, binigyan ka, kay Marcos, mama, kahapon ko nakita.
Yeah.
Sabi niya, binigyan ka ng pagkakataon na kasaysayan at ng mamamayan. Na bangon mo ang pangalan at ipakita mo na kaya niyong mamuno muli at iangat ang ating bansa. But you failed. Time for you to love the country by leaving behind power.
Yeah.
Napakaganda ng simple lang mamang bira sa kanya. Ang nitong very reserved ito si Attorney at retired Marine General Arevalo, hindi ito basta-basta magkokomentaryo kung hindi po nakabatay sa kanyang saloobing, nakabatay sa kanyang paninindigan. Ma'am, yung reaction to di dumadami. Dumadami by the day. Ang mga dati ay nag-aalangan na sabihin na Marcos is a lost cause. He is creating chaos and everything that destroys the country. At ito ngayon, isa na namang retired Marine General.
Yeah.
Hindi pa siya nakontento na pinaaresto at pinahiya niya kahapon si General Romeo Puques. Ito ngayon dumadami pa ang nagsasalita mula sa hanay na matitino ng mga sundalo at opisyal ng ating bayan, Ma'am Lorraine.
I'll segue a little bit, no, Eric, kasi tumatakbo ako, as you know, 'di ba? Tapos dito sa Japan, merong monumento si Jose Rizal, si Dr. Jose Rizal, nakita ko sa Hibiya Park. Tapos so I googled and I found out that he was what was the case that was filed against our national hero? It was inciting to sedition.
Yes.
So Eric, you and I were also sued by Nicolas Torres, diba? So when I found
Correct.
that out, I felt so proud of myself. Parang it's a rite of passage, no? When you speak the truth against tyrants, that will really be your life. That will be, yayakapin mo yan. Yayakapin mo talaga na yung inciting to sedition. So I'm really very proud of General Romeo Puques, no? And of course General Arevalo as well. I'm very, very proud because maraming PMAers, no, na they've already lost their passion for their country. They would rather just play golf, palaki ng tiyan, no, enjoy their pension. But to have that fire with you in your hearts for your country up until you're in your 60s, up until the day you die, that is such a blessing, no? So while others are just waiting to die, 'di ba? And to fatten themselves up, we have heroes, no, in our midst, real warriors who stand up and very clearly make us stand. Hindi sila they don't fence it, 'di ba? Hindi gumigitna. 'Di ba? Because sabi nga ni Dante, si
Yeah.
Alighieri, the hottest places in hell are reserved for those who in times of great moral crisis stay neutral.
Agree.
So may the hottest places in hell be for you, PMAers, who were given so much by way of an education
Ayun.
and by way of the trust and love of the Filipino people, and yet you remain silent. So
Exactly, Ma'am Lorraine.
I'm very grateful that Romeo Puques and General Arevalo and the rest are speaking out.